हेलो वेलकम टू अनदर वीडियो। तो मैं कमेंट सेक्शन में पढ़ते रहता हूँ, a lot of you are interested in crypto and to be honest so am I, and I also think a lot more people would get interested in crypto if they understood a little more about it। मैंने एक्चुअली और बहुत सारे क्रिप्टो वीडियोस प्लान किए हुए हैं, लेकिन उन तक पहुंचने के लिए we need to understand the basics, and underlying all of this crypto talk and revolution is one thing: blockchain technology। So please make sure that you watch this video till the end, because as I speak the financial world is going through a slight bit of a change and I don't think you would want to be left out of the conversation। इसीलिए आज का वीडियो इंपॉर्टेंट है, लेकिन शुरू करने से पहले as usual लाइक ठोको। On that note, let's start। Blockchain is nothing but a chain of blocks. Every block is used to store some information, pretty much like everything on the internet, except for a few big differences। The internet as we know it is centralized, यानी कि हम सब अपने फोटोज और वीडियोस गूगल ड्राइव पे अपलोड करते, while trusting Google will keep it safe। But recently Google servers crashed around the world and people weren't able to access even their emails। Not to mention कि Google के पास वो पावर है कि वो कभी भी आपके ब्लॉग्स या वीडियोस को निकाल सकता है। So basically हम सब Google के मर्सी पे हैं, और Google जैसे बहुत सारी कंपनीज है जिनके सर्विसेज पे हम डिपेंडेंट है। And this trust in a centralized authority is worth questioning, don't you think? The possibilities of hacking always exists in a centralized system। Recently Elon Musk और Joe Biden का Twitter अकाउंट्स हैक हो गया और उन्होंने एक्चुअल स्कैम्स को ट्वीट किया था। Now, on the internet, everything is in abundance। कोई गाना पसंद आया, उसका तुम डिजिटल कॉपी बना सकते हो। Netflix पे कोई मूवी पसंद आ गई, उसका टॉरेंट बन सकता है, वो फाइल कॉपी हो सकता है और डिस्ट्रीब्यूट हो सकता है। Unlike रियल लाइफ, इंटरनेट पे बिल्कुल स्कैरसिटी नाम की चीज नहीं है। आपने कभी सोचा है कि इतनी सारी चीजें डिजिटल हो गई है, तो हमारा जो पैसा है, जो नोट है, वो अभी तक डिजिटाइज्ड क्यों नहीं हुआ? आई नो ये सुनने में बहुत आसान है, पर करने में बहुत मुश्किल है। पैसा अगर डिजिटल फाइल होता तो उसे इजीली कोई भी कॉपी कर सकता है, डुप्लीकेट कर सकता है, बढ़ा सकता है। And if it was that easy to have digital money, everything would go haywire। But what if I told you that blockchain solves this exact problem? With blockchain, you can create digital money that is decentralized, hack-proof, and digitally scarce। Let's understand how। Suppose आपने और आपके दोस्तों ने कुछ कंप्यूटर फाइल क्रिएट किया और उसको बुलाया डिजिटल रुपी। You distribute this digital rupee amongst your friends, but you also make a ledger where you write down तन्मय हैज 10 डिजिटल रुपीज, रोहन हैज 10 डिजिटल रुपीज एंड सो ऑन। अब सपोज हमारा दोस्त है आशीष, वो हमारा बैंकर दोस्त है। वो ये लेजर यानी कि खाते को मेंटेन करेगा। एवरी टाइम यू पे समवन, आशीष विल राइट डाउन दैट यू पेड हिम। इन केस यू कॉपी पेस्ट द डिजिटल रुपी टू क्रिएट मोर ऑफ देम, आशीष विल नो बिकॉज ही नोज हाउ मच बैलेंस यू आर सपोज टू हैव। सो आशीष इज वैलिडेटिंग आवर ट्रांजैक्शंस एंड नोटिंग देम ऑन अ लेजर। अब आशीष ये काम फ्री में क्यों करेगा? ही इज बेसिकली आवर बैंकर एंड वी हैव टू पे हिम for his services by giving him a portion of our digital rupee, and we have to trust that he's not frauding anyone। Not to forget, he's becoming very rich collecting all our coins। तो धीरे धीरे आशीष एक central authority बन गया है। Which brings us to the question, is there a way to maintain this ledger in a decentralized way? यानी कि हमें आशीष की जरूरत नहीं है ये करने के लिए। सॉरी आशीष। तो इस लेजर को डिसेंट्रलाइज करने के लिए we decide that we will record all new transaction on things called online blocks। सब ये blocks देख सकते हैं और एडिट कर सकते हैं। If Rohan sells me a pencil, I will type in the block, I'm paying Rohan 2 digital rupees, and I will then pass around the block to everyone online, and anyone could verify if my transaction is correct। But for anyone who wants to validate my transaction, they need to ensure I have the money to pay Rohan, so they need records of all our previous transactions। Basically, we need a thread of all the previous blocks। We need a blockchain। Let's see कि ये chain कैसे कर सकते हैं। Imagine I sold Raghav a pencil। When Raghav pays me in digital rupees, let's say he creates a block and in the first compartment he records 1 rupee from Raghav to Tanmay। This information is stored in the first compartment of the block। The second compartment contains a unique number that is cryptographically calculated by a computer। ये number इतना unique होगा, it's like the fingerprint of this block। This cryptographically generated number is called a hash। It is calculated based on the contents of the first and the third compartment। तो पहले block में जो transaction details हम upload करते हैं, you always get a unique reference number or hash। Change the details even slightly and the reference number changes completely. Thanks to cryptography, there is no way to predict what data will give you what reference number. This cryptography is why we call them cryptocurrencies. For every bunch of transactions your friends want to record, they can create a new block. Then they pass it around to the 9 other friends to validate. If the transaction are considered legit by your friends, they will then add it to the chain, making your transaction permanent part of the record. Doing this is simple. In the third compartment, just add the reference number of the previous block. So block number 2 will add the reference number of block number 1 in its third compartment. Block number 3 will add the reference number of block number 2 in its third compartment. Do it every time you create a new block and you end up creating a blockchain. This blockchain does not exist on the server of Google or Facebook. All of you have your own copy of the blockchain. You can access it, edit it, or add to it whenever a new block is floated by someone. You can then share the updated blockchain for others to accept. That's what makes it a distributed ledger or decentralized. Now imagine we have a blockchain with 15 blocks. You have bought so many things your friends were selling that you have 0 rupees left. Now suppose you are broke and you decide to go to the 6th block of the chain and write Zakir gave me 3 rupees. You basically change the copy of the record that you hold. Remember, anyone can change the copy of the blockchain anytime. The moment you change that number, the reference number of the 6th block changes, just like we discussed. We have a new reference number in the 6th block. This changes the reference number stored in the third compartment of the 7th block, which means a new reference number is calculated for the 7th block, which changes the reference number stored in the third compartment of the 8th block, and so on and so forth. You now have one chain that is totally different from the chains everyone else has. And not only that, you also know that this chain changed from the 6th block. Since your 10 friends still have the original chain, no data is lost, only friendships are. This makes blockchains change resistant and hack resistant. Your friends will just ignore this different chain and life goes on. You still end up with 0 rupees on all records. This tells you why decentralization is great. Since it is change resistant, no one can meaningfully create as many rupees as they like. If you want 3 new rupees in your account, it is only possible if someone sends you 3 rupees, in which case they lose them, or if there was a pre-decided rule on when new money can be created. Like for example, if you had coded a rule that says every friend gets 3 rupees out of nowhere on their birthday. In both these cases, people can't just create new copies of digital money as per their will. Rules of transaction and minting or mining are sacrosanct. Thanks to blockchain, we have achieved digital scarcity. But hang on, there's one more interesting thing. Imagine if these 11 people weren't your friends. Imagine if these people were all strangers. और ये सारे स्ट्रेंजर्स पुराने ब्लॉक में जाके चेंजेस करके खुद को नया डिजिटल रुपीस देते हैं. Then we would just end up with a bunch of different blockchains. That is why we don't just need decentralization. We need it to be easily accountable too. We need people to put in some mehnat in order to create new blocks or go and edit an old block. अगर मेहनत बहुत ज़्यादा करना पड़ रहा है तो लोग 2 बार सोचेंगे before trying to be deceptive. This idea gave rise to proof of work. How do we achieve proof of work? Let's go back to our block. Let's now add a 4th compartment. Let's call it the work number. Along with adding your transaction data in the first compartment, you also have to add a random number to the 4th compartment. For every different number, you'll get a different reference number in the second compartment. Now, we won't let people add any number to this compartment. We will make them do mehnat or work to find a unique number. Let's say we make a rule that every block on the blockchain must have a reference number starting with 4 zeros, otherwise we will discard the block. The only way to get such a reference number, something like this number, we will have to manually enter different random numbers starting with 0 to 1 to 2000 and so on, till we by coincidence get a reference number that starts with 4 zeros. Every time we try a new number, a new reference number is computed. All this requires computational power, which requires electricity, which requires money. Now imagine someone tampers with the 6th block. They have to compute a work number not only for the 6th block, but for all the blocks following it in the chain. They have to do this before someone looks at the last block and sees its reference number has no zeros in the beginning. All this while more blocks keep getting added to the chain. There's no chance they can win this race. Within a few minutes, someone will figure out that this chain has been tampered with and they will remove it. This also prevents everyone from scamming the system. What this also means is that the longest chain in the system has had the most work done on it. So it is the most trustworthy chain in case of any confusion. This is why the longest chain has proof of work to back its legitimacy. Now suppose I'm validating transactions on a new block, which means I'll have to use my computational power, my electricity, my time. What incentive do I have to do this? Earlier we discussed how new digital rupees can only be created with a pre-decided rule, right? What if there was a pre-decided rule that anyone who validates a transaction by calculating the work number gets 5 digital rupees out of nowhere? We will call these validators miners, and this adding of a new block to a chain as mining. So you validate a transaction and mine 5 rupees, and you get to keep them and spend them. Now this rupee blockchain for all practical purposes is exactly like the Bitcoin blockchain. Except every time you mine a new block, you get 5 digital rupees. This means there will always be new rupees that keeps entering the system. This will make this digital rupee an inflationary currency. But Bitcoin is not inflationary currency. Bitcoin has a rule that the amount of Bitcoin you get after mining keeps getting halved every 4 years. In 2009, you could earn 50 Bitcoin for adding a new block. In 2012, it was halved to 25. In 2016, it was halved to 12.5. In 2020, to 6.25. This means by the end of the year 2140, adding a new block will earn you 0 Bitcoin. So the total number of Bitcoins is theoretically finite at 21 million, which makes Bitcoin a deflationary cryptocurrency. Now blockchains are constantly evolving. In Bitcoin, each block contains only transaction records. But other blockchain technologies like Ethereum, each block can do a lot more, but we will get to that later. If the functioning of a blockchain blew your mind, Ethereum and other blockchain will literally blow your mind apart. I hope आज का वीडियो देख के आपको Bitcoin के पीछे की टेक्नोलॉजी थोड़ी और समझ में आई. Once you understand this, you will understand why people consider cryptocurrency and Bitcoin to be the future of financial technology. I find this whole world fascinating, and there's so much more that is left to be explored. If you enjoyed this video, then please make sure you hit the like button. Follow Clueless on Instagram and Telegram. And to know how I invest, there are links in the description. You can click them to buy stocks and crypto. And one final thing before we go, there are lots of scammers in my comment section जो message करके बोलेंगे कि ये WhatsApp group join करो, आपका return double होगा. Please know that that is not me messaging you. I will never invite you to a WhatsApp group and give you tips. ये accounts मेरा same display picture use करते हैं, but मेरे account के बाजू में एक tick mark होगा. Only if you see that tick mark is the comment legitimately from me. A lot of you are young and susceptible to such scammers, so please beware. On that note, I'm going to take your leave. बहुत सारे videos पे काम चल रहा है, so make sure you subscribe. On that note, thank you very much. I will see you on the next video.